Yo, what's happening guys, it's ClossierX. So in this video we're going to go on to adding the basics of enemies. So in this game, like an Android game, your enemies are pretty simple. They just move left and right and they'll, you know, get to a certain point and then go back to the next point. And that's the kind of enemy that we're going to do today. We're not going to add anything special. In a future video I'm going to make an extended version of enemies which will give you different types of enemies, so you'll be able to make ones that will knock you off the edge, you can make ones that shoot things, and you'll be able to make ones, you know, just basically that'll follow the player rather than going left and right. But for this video, just to get us started with enemies, I'm just going to make a basic enemy that runs left and right, and we'll probably add a few little things to him just to add a little bit of variance. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the hero run and just call it sprite underscore enemy 1 run, and click edit, image, invert, and this will basically just invert the colors. So then we've got our enemy, which is just an alternative version of the player, and then click OK, save that. And then you've got hero idle. You want to duplicate that and change that to sprite underscore enemy 1 idle, and again, same again, we're going to image, invert, and there we go. So that's basically our enemy number 1. And then what we'll do is we'll go into here and create a new object and just call this one object enemy 1 and set his sprite to enemy 1 run, uses physics. And then what you want to do is the same as we done last time. We want to change the friction to 0.5 and the linear dampen to 3. And then what we're going to do is, just to make it easier for the code, we're just going to make this into a box. You won't even be able to tell once you're in the game. But yeah, that's pretty alright. And then just drop this down to about 8, 8. And then we can just snap it a bit closer and then bring that up to there. There we go. And then click OK, save it. OK. Now what we want to do is we want to create a small block. So insert a new sprite, click edit sprite, new, and make this 50 by 50. Double click, and then just fill this in with a color. So what you can do is just do red. And then just so I just put like a cross, so like that. It's the worst cross ever, but you get the idea. Right, save that, and then call that sprite underscore enemy block, and send to the origin. Press OK. Now create a new object, assign it to enemy block, and then uses physics box. Make sure that it's point to point. Press OK. Now with object, we want to make an event collision with object enemy 1, and then // save that. Call this object underscore enemy block. Now what this does, we place this where we want the enemy to turn around. So we're going to put it like here, right at the very point. And as soon as the enemy hits that, he'll go the opposite way. So put that on either side. There we go. Save that. Now we go into some coding on the enemy. So add a new event. We're going to create a variable. So go into the create event and make one called turn equals 0, and make one called turnable equals 1. Then press enter, enter. Now if we go into the step event, create a new code and type in if turn equals 0, else if turn equals 1. So basically what's going to happen is, if the enemy is it variable is turn equals 0, he's going to go left. If his variable is 1, he's going to go right. It's that simple. So then we type physics apply underscore force and type in x, y, minus 200, 0. And then type in here image underscore x scale equals -1. And type in sprite index equals sprite underscore enemy 1 run. Then copy that, paste that in, and then basically just reverse these commands. Press enter, save it. Now what you want to do is we want to make it so that when you actually hit, it doesn't just keep turning them instantly back and forward because it'll bug out. So what we want to do is say if turnable equals 1, type in turnable equals 0, and then put alarm 0 equals 20. So now, oh sorry, that should be equals. And then what we want to do is we want to copy that, make an alarm in this event, alarm 0, and put turnable equals 1. So now when he hits the block, he should basically reverse. So now what we do is we go collision with enemy block. Now what we want to do is go, and if this turnable, we want to add this here. So and no, sorry, that's not right. Don't add that. Yep. So now when we hit this, we want it to initiate the turn command. So if turn equals 0, and if turn equals 1, we go turn equals 1 and turn equals 0. Right, let's try that. So now we put the enemy 1 in, and hopefully he should move left and right. Let's try it out. Oh, there we go. So that's another thing that we need to change. With object enemy block, change the density to 0 and 0 on friction. And with enemy 1, we need to put the collision to the floor as well. So just copy that in and put one of these in. Right. Now with object floor, put a collision with enemy 1. Now if we try that, should hopefully work. Oh yeah, that's another thing, is speed. Right, so that's one thing we need to fix. Right, so let's change that. So if we go into object enemy 1, go into the step event, and then at the very bottom just type in image speed equals 0.2, same as our main character. And then what we also need to do is on the collision, if turn equals 0, and then put and turnable equals 1. Now if we save that and play it, it should work correctly. Nope, something's not right, so let's work that out. Okay, so I found out what it is. We actually have put this in the wrong position. So instead of putting this into the step event, I was supposed to put it into this event. So you put it into the collision with the block. So basically when it hits the block, it'll check if you can turn, and then it'll go to the alarm and it'll change the thing to 0 so that you can't basically keep it in there. So let's just save that and test it. There we go. Perfect. So now what we want to do is, let's just make sure that he actually hits the other one and goes the opposite way. There we go. Yep, there we go. So he's going back. So now we need to make those objects invisible. So just tick that, tick that. Go into object enemy block. And then go on visible. Just click that off. Let's just test that. So those objects are still there, but we can't see them now. And they won't interact with the player, so it's like they're not there for us. As you can see, we can just go straight through. Right, so that's the player moving left and right, but we want to give him a bit of personality, because at the moment, he's just mindless left and right character. So what I want to do is I want to give him a bit of exhaustion, like he gets tired when he's been running for so long. So let's do that. Right, so first thing you want to do is we want to go into our enemy one, create two new variables. We'll call the first one stamina, and we'll give it, say, 50 just for testing, and then we'll go into here and we'll put one called exhausted equals 0. Now if we go into the step event, we want to go stamina minus equals 0.1. Copy that. So basically when he's running, his stamina will go down slowly. Now we want to put in if, then put and stamina is greater than 0. Copy that. So if he's got stamina, he can run. So then put if stamina equals, no, is greater than or equal to 100. Stamina equals 100. And if stamina is less than or equal to 0, stamina equals 0. So basically if his stamina becomes over 100, it will automatically go to 100, and if it goes less than 0, it will automatically go back to 0. So it can't go to like minus figures, and it can't go to like 101, 102. So we're basically constraining it to 1 to 100. So then put if stamina equals 0, sprite index equals sprite underscore enemy 1 idle. Right, let's test that. So for now, he should basically run for a bit and then go to an idle stance when he gets knackered. So he's running, he's running, he's running. There we go. So now he's idle. Now at the moment, we've got no way of him going back to a running stance once he's got his stamina back. So let's fix that. So now if we go into here and we put so if stamina equals 0 and exhaustion equals 0, alarm 1 equals, say, 75, and put exhaustion equals 1. Actually that's fine, we don't need to put that in yet. So let me just go into alarm 1 and just put if exhaustion, no, actually just need to put stamina equals random range, because we don't want him to get his stamina back at the same time every time, because we want him to be a bit different. So we put, say, 50 to 150, and exhaustion equals 0. Right, so let's just try that and see what happens for now. So he should get knackered any second now. Oh, it's exhausted. Let's just make sure I haven't put that in the other one. Yep, exhausted, not exhaustion. So now, hopefully, he should get his stamina back. So he's resting. Right guys, so slight mistake that I made. You need to put exhausted equals 1 here. So exhausted equals 0 needs to also have exhausted equals 1, which will basically just stop it from repeating this code over and over and over. So we've got exhausted equals 1, alarm 1. Now I'm going to change this to random range say 50 to 150. And this is basically how long it's going to take for him to recover his stamina. So let's try it. So he's running, he's running, he's running. He's knackered and he's back on his toes. He's running, he's running, he's running. He's knackered again and he's back on his toes. And that is basically it, guys. It's he's got a little bit of character now. He actually gets tired. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, in the next video we'll look at probably going into shooting so that we can shoot the enemies. But yeah, we'll look at that in the next video. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.